As I told you, the crystals are the purest form of the substances, any substance, whether it is organic or inorganic. So are the defects. The defects actually enhance the electrical conducting property. And these defects have been classified as we have seen the class about the four types of defects and three types of defects. And in the first type, we have the Schottky and Frenkel defects. These two names after the founders. The two most common types of intrinsic point defect. So the first one is the point defect that we are dealing with. Intrinsic is quite opposite of extrinsic. It is an internal. With extrinsic, you will have the doping from outside. You will bring out some other complementary material and attach it with that. So that will be the doping, and that will be the extrinsic semiconductor. But within the intrinsic semiconductor, we have intrinsic semiconductor and solid materials. We have Schottky and Frenkel defects. A Schottky defect consists of charge balancing action and anion vacancies. This is found in particularly sodium chloride. But a Frenkel defect is a charge balancing interstitial and vacancy. And can be there in the cation and anion Frenkel defect. So that is, I will explain this here in the Schottky defect. But a charge balancing is, suppose if you have Na plus and Cl minus. Okay, this Na plus is suddenly substituted by some bication, like 2 plus. There is an extra plus here. Okay, so this is 1 plus and this is 2 plus. Therefore, this extra plus is to be balanced by another chlorine atom there. And that balancing cation and anion vacancies are known as the Schottky defect. So here is it is given there. You can see that the Schottky defect given there. Sodium chloride, sodium chloride, sodium chloride, everything is there. And here one sodium is missing, and here one chlorine is missing. So one positive charge is missing and one negative charge is missing. Both cation and anion are missing from the regular lattice. So the lattice is this one. So regular lattice, so that goes like this, are called lattices. And even you can connect them by this type, NaCl, NaCl. So if you have a second layer, it can go like that. So at a room temperature, 1 in 10 power 15. So you can imagine how many sites are there. It's a very, very low definite, but still works good for electronic movement. 10 power 15 sites are vacant in sodium chloride, and the creation energy is about 200 kilojoules per mole, sufficient energy. That means either you have to spend so much amount of energy to fill that cation or anion, or you will require that amount of energy. Sometimes, even with lesser energy by some defects in the lattice itself or during the creation, they simply escape that. Okay, so here is another example. They're missing, but in the Schottky defect you have the type. You can see NaCl, Mx type, Mx, or even sometimes they call it as the AB type. Okay, so minus and plus, chlorine is very large and sodium is very small, so that is what is there. So you can see that one plus, a large plus is coming, occupying at this particular space. This one, okay. In the place of a small one, there is a large occupation of a plus charge, and there is another foreign body there with minus. So this neutrality is destroyed. Neutrality is destroyed. So as a result of that, there is some defect. So this is called as the Schottky defect, and this is also a type of defect, but here it is MXP, that is AB2 or MX2 type. This one MX. So M is metal, X is any other cation or anion. Here M is also metal, here it is cation and anion. So the examples they have given are zirconium dioxide, calcium chloride, disodium sulfide, etc. So that you can see that in this particular Zr4 plus is this one, and oxygen is this one. So where do you have this defect? You count the number of oxygen atoms: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So they are exact, and the required numbers are already there. Zirconium is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and where is one? 8th one should be there. 8th one, this one. Okay, 8th one. Then you have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So each face is also there by zirconium, and each corner is also by the zirconium. So they have 8 face and 8 corners. So there are about 16 zirconium ions of them, and 8 oxygen atoms are there. 8 oxygen anions are there. 16 zirconium cations are there, and they are occupied very well. So you can see that if a face is occupied, this will be the considered as the layer 1. Layer 1. Okay, the layer 1 is completely this one. Layer 2 is this one. Layer 2 is this one. Then layer 3 is this one. The entire this. Okay. Layer 4 is this one. Then layer 5 is this one. So 4, 5 layers are there. And the type is A, B, A, B, A, B type. So, and you can see that if you have A, B, and then A is coming, the A and B are not parallel. Suppose if this is on exactly on that, A should have come here at this particular place. Okay, but it has moved to this particular place because of the size of this particular ion, and this gives rise to this type of structure which we have seen as a TiO2 structure or rutile type of structure, in which you have if you observe closely, you will have octahedral or SCP packing should be there. So I'm not able to move it here, but show in the later coming slides how a cubic arrangements can be seen in terms of the hexagonal packing arrangement. So already I explained this. But in the case of the Frenkel defect, as you can see that there is no missing, but instead you have extra cations there, and only one minus is there. So this 2 plus has to be balanced by one more minus atom. Remember, there is no missing. Okay, no missing cation, as in the case of the previous Schottky defect. In the Schottky defect, you had completely one M plus was gone. One M plus was gone. But here you have some excess like Mg2 plus or this. So this has to be balanced. So the size of this and the size of this is peculiarly balanced. Okay, and there is not very accurate. So as a result, what will happen will be this electron, because of the 3 present electrons here, will be pushed to the next category, and this will be coming here, and this will again be pushed. So the electron keeps on moving. Okay, keeps on moving, and any electronic movement will constitute the electricity. So look at this defect, the Schottky defect. You have only one large cation occupying there. Okay, here at this particular place, and only one minus is there. And here you have, there is no missing, but there is an extra cation there. So you can see that it is going into the interstitial space. Okay, so this particular space, as I told you, is called as the interstitial space site. Interstitial site means in between two lattices. This one is one lattice, and the second lattice is there. So AgCl is there. Because of some deficiency, edge dislocation, or any other impurity, the silver cation Ag plus is moving away into some other species, but it will not be allowed there. It will keep on moving. Don't think that it will stay there. Because of this high when low entropy, this silver ion cation will be pushed to this place, it will be pushed to this place, it will be pushed this place, and the pushings will be about 10 power, as you see that as per the 10 power 6 pushings per second minimum. As the temperature increases, they will keep on pushing. So any cation movement will be followed by any composition, and that composition will result in electrical balancing properties. So you can see this is a simple cubic. The cation is displaced from the regular side onto the interstitial side, and the energy is about 130 kilojoules per mole. Then compare this with the 200 kilojoules per mole for the Schottky defect. That means Schottky defect creation is very difficult, whereas the Frenkel defect creation is comparatively easy because it was 200 kilojoules per mole. These are the numbers you need to remember. Schottky defect, whereas Frenkel defect, it is giving you the 130 kilojoules per mole. Okay, I don't think that this interstitial cation goes there and it will not coming back. It may come back and occupy that particular place, and the cation charge anion charges may be balanced. The crystal may become stable, but this is what is happening, and this kind of defect is known as the Schottky defect, Frenkel defect. So here is again what I draw in the previous case, that arrow is there, AgCl, 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 anions and cations are equally arranged there. So you can see this one is interstitially occupied, and it is not allowed inside this particular space, so it moves to this particular space. Here also it will not be allowed, it will keep moving again, and here also it will not be allowed, it will keep moving again, unless you have some favorable things for this. So the arrows are telling you that where they are moving. It can be, it can be knocking out. So there is already a regular silver cation present there. That one which is present in the interstitial side may come and knock this away from this particular space. So it can move into this particular space, and again it can knock to this. So that movement is given there. So as a result, you have a lot of space in the empty space. So this space is called as the interstitial space. The interstitial space is now occupied by one regular cation, and here you have a vacancy. So vacancy creation is there, and if the vacancy keeps moving, we can also tell it as a vacancy motion. If there are a lot of vacancy motion in a crystal, it's a very good electrical conducting property. That is what we say. This is the basics of the semiconducting property of a crystalline substance. So they move regularly, and it's not random. And here is that the defect of structure is more complicated than random ion vacancies and Fe3 plus. So here this is a particular crystal of iron, and you can see oxygen is this one, okay, and iron is this one. Where is the vacancy there? There are a lot of vacancies here. This is a vacancy, and this is also a vacancy, this is also a vacancy, this is also a vacancy. Okay, what do you mean by this Fe tetrahedra and Fe octahedra? What do you mean by that? So let me just explain this here. If Fe atom is there, it can be surrounded by oxygen atoms like this. Okay, O, 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 and O. So this Fe atom is sitting prettily in 4 oxygen atoms. So this arrangement will be called as the tetrahedron, in terms of the tetrahedron. Whereas if you have an Fe which is sitting in uh, an arrangement which we have already seen like this. Okay, this is the top layer, and the next layer is an oxygen occupying this one. Okay, this oxygen will be at the center, ion will be at the center, and this constitutes an octahedral arrangement. Okay, so this will be octahedral arrangement. So an ion which is in the tetrahedral arrangement is moving into the octahedral arrangement only within the cubic lattices, and that is because of the defect present in the Frankel defect present in that. Suppose why this happens is, iron, very well, it can have Fe2 plus as well as Fe3 plus. Okay, Fe3 plus is small, whereas Fe2 plus is larger, relatively larger than. So this will be ferrous and this will be ferric, and this gap will be smaller. So what happens is Fe3 plus will go there and sit there. But this gap will be Fe2 plus ferrous is larger. Okay, so they will occupy the larger sites land. So it is possible for you to arrange in a particular HCP pattern or in a large crystal pattern. You can have alternate arrangements so that the ion gets occupied in the tetrahedral holes as well as the octahedral holes, and give rise to some ABC type of the structure. Spinels, are a class of compounds in which you can have AB2O4 type of atoms. This A is some other metal, like for example Mg, and B2 will be something like Fe2, and O is O4. This Fe2 can split into Fe2 plus as well as Fe3 plus, depending on the creation, depending on how it is grown there. When it is larger in size, it will occupy the octahedral sites. When it is smaller, as in the case of the Fe3 plus, Fe3 plus is smaller in size because one more electron you are removing, that will occupy the tetrahedral hole, and this one will occupy the octahedral hole. So occupation, therefore, crystallography is about getting pure crystalline substances without any defect. If at all there are any defects, the defects help in understanding the electrical and magnetic properties. Okay, so here is a cubic close packing of oxide ions. Remember, this is nothing difficult. It's a cube, simple cube. You have drawn a cube there. Okay, so in these cubes, you have oxide ions there. These are all oxide ions. I am circling it in the green. These are all oxide ions. Now look at how they are occupied. The oxide ions are in the corners. Okay, and the vacant octahedral sites. This is the vacant. Okay, vacant is on the edge. This is the edge. Here on edge, and here it is at the center. This is at the edge. This is also at the edge. This is an edge, and this is also an edge, and this is also an edge. This is also an edge. So all the edges are occupied by holes. That is octahedral sites. That is not the hole. This is a site. And Fe2 plus may simply go and sit there. But this one is the tetrahedral sites which you have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the arrangement. Suppose if I place some anion there, these are all oxygens. Okay, if I place some anion there, what is happening is it can be connected by means of this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that will go something like this: Fe 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this gives rise to the tetrahedron. Within this particular cube, that is the cluster, is called as the Koch cluster. Postulates in the Will-Site crystal Fe1 minus 6 is a stoichiometric, non-stoichiometric compound. Something is missing. So you can see this oxide ions here. So I will just circle it with red, blue again, blue again. Right. So this will be. You can see this one. Right. Quite opposite. You can see this one. Okay. If the layer if the ion which is at the center, it can be the center of this also, for this and for this also. So this triangle I am drawing it like this, and this triangle I am drawing it here like this. So if I see from the top, I'll get something like this. Okay, and these all will be the oxide atoms, and at the center you will have Fe. So this arrangement will constitute an octahedron. So you can see within a cube you can have tetrahedra, octahedra alternatively. Okay, so this will destroy the some kind of arrangement of the crystals, and it's a kind of defect, and loss of a charge, will be the conversion of Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus is a loss of charge. Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus an electron is lost. This is lost. Okay, when the electron is lost, this gives rise to some Schottky defect, and the charge has to be balanced. So rather than balancing, the ion will move into something which is stable site, like for example, it can move to the tetrahedral site, and it may be stable there. So you can substitute ferrous and ferric ions within them and get an idea of the crystalline property of that. So here is an example how you can imagine a cube, right? This is the central Fe atom. This is 1, and this is 2, and this is 3. This is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. We join them like this and get an octahedral arrangements. Okay, but both the lines are, if they are both like this, then you get what type of structure? By prism like structure. This should be like this, and if it is like this, then only you can get octahedral arrangements, OL arrangements. And within this, you can see that there is a possibility of a hexagonal type. Okay, SCP type arrangements. Note that these arrangements are not bonds, they are just the types of the arrangements. So you can have, this is a body centered cube. One cube is there. This is one cube, right? Within this cube, you have the center. So this is a body centered cube crystal, and this is also a body centered cube crystal. This is simple cube, and this is a body centered crystal. Okay, so it's a simply extended. It can be connected to some other crystals. So one alternate arrangement is you can have a tetrahedral arrangement also within this cube. For a tetrahedral arrangements, you see, we need to have some atoms here like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So these four atoms are arranged together will give rise to tetrahedral arrangements, and that is dependent on the size of the cation. So this is just to show that within a cube you can have HCP arrangements or even BCC type of arrangements, body centered cube arrangements and HCP arrangements. If the atoms are smaller, you can very well have the hexagonal close packing arrangements. The packing is very great, and the entropy is nearly very small. If the entropy is very small, the crystals are purest in the form of the substance. So we come to the conclusion about the Frenkel and Schottky defect. How you can remember is the Frenkel defect and Schottky defect is that in the Frenkel defect, in the Schottky defect, you have missing charges. Okay, here you can see that Schottky defect is there. In the Frenkel defect, you can see it is not missing charge. Cation anion has to be balanced. Okay, so let us go back to the definition also here at the top. The Schottky defect consists of charge balancing cation and anion vacancies. Cation and anion vacancies. This is an important point for you to remember. Whereas a Frenkel defect is charge balancing within the interstitial space and vacancy. It can be both. It can be both. A missing cation may be there. This is cation and anion means missing. Okay, very important. Something is missing. but here it is interstitial. This is not missing, this is something extra. I think you have understood this, and I can go back again with the lecture to find out if you have missed any chain. Thank you for joining me. We'll go to the next session, next part of the basic crystallography in my next video. Thank you for